Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons and Dragons advice video on the role playing or the advanced Dungeons and Dragons book, Unearthed Arcana. Before I get into this though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you would hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on social media, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. I haven't been putting out as many videos lately as I had been because I've been concentrating on getting some book projects finished. The latest one is the actual tabletop role-playing game book, Outlaw Trails. I've been doing stories about it for years on my channel. You can go check them out. This is a tabletop role-playing game about the Old West. I designed it to be very, very simple. The idea is that people who are brand new to tabletop role-playing, who've never played before, can get this book, and within a very short time, maybe a couple hours, they can actually be running games. I designed it to be very simple. So keep an eye out for that book. Check it out. Get it if you can. I hope you enjoy it. If you speaking of books, if you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there. I like to think I write good stories that make you think. Hope you find some you like, and I hope you enjoy them. All right. The Unearthed Arcana. For whatever reason, I was unaware of the stigma attached to the Unearthed Arcana, the AD&D Unearthed Arcana. The stigma itself baffles me. I honestly cannot fathom anyone having a problem with this book, but apparently they do. Does it radically change the game? Yeah, I guess so, but in a good way. Does it undermine the mechanics of the game? Not at all. There are some changes to be sure, but nothing that really turns anything on its ear. The changes it makes are, I believe, quality additions to the source material, and I believe some of it was necessary. Let me explain. We'll start with a cursory glance at the table of contents. First off, it adds comeliness. I'm good with this. There are tons of really cool people out there that are ugly enough to make a freight train take a dirt road. A little shout out to Lloyd Pye there. Charisma and looks are related, but they are not the same thing. You can be a really, really good looking person and be a crappy individual. You can be a really, really good individual, but not have, not be a model. They are related, but they are not the same thing. Next, this book adds a lot of subraces like wild elves, drow elves, deep gnomes, things like that. Most of these are exceedingly cool. Word to the wise, drow elves and deep gnomes need to be penalized with stiff social penalties because they are very overpowered. I have seen game masters not allow player character drow elves or deep gnomes because of all the innate abilities those races are given in the Unearthed Arcana, and I understand. But there should be, if you're the dungeon master, you should be able to find ways around it so they're not so overpowering. I like social limitations. The world in general doesn't like drow elves, for example. Makes it hard for them to function. This going the next one. This book adds a bunch of new classes like Cavalier, Barbarian, and Thief Acrobat. All of these, if run properly, fill serious voids in the original player's handbook. Paladins are moved to a subclass of the Cavalier, which makes perfect sense in my mind. Barbarians are a class which was desperately needed in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. One of the principal influences of Dungeons & Dragons was Robert E. Howard, the inventor of Conan. And frankly, Conan did not fit anywhere within the player's handbook. I saw a proposed character sheet of that barbarian years ago, and he was basically a fighter-thief combo. And while not bad, it just wasn't right. The barbarian in the Unearthed Arcana is Conan, and can be easily modified into barbarians of all sorts, all around our world throughout history. One of the things that one of the things that I really liked about the Conan movies was the simplicity. In pre-medieval times, you could make something that was beautiful, a sword that was very ornate, an axe that was shaped like a bat's wing or whatever, but it still had to be functional. To me, those times, that mindset of functionality is key. And this barbarian class fits that mindset perfectly. There are new types of armor, weapons, and equipment. They clarified and added to the ranger class as well. I forgot to put that in there. The ranger class, they talk about the tracking and like that, and they really, really did a good job with the rangers. There are new types of armor, weapons, and equipment. There are new spells for every spellcasting class, including cantrips for magic users and illusionists. The book clarifies a lot of information on spell books. The book talks a lot about social class and rank. The book adds a great many new magic items. The book clarifies multiple options for weaponless combat and grappling and non-lethal combat options. I mean, it's really, really good. It details new optional methodology for rolling stats during character creation, strength, intelligence, and like that. The Unearthed Arcana details a great many new non-human deities for more variety. And they all fit well into whatever world you're playing in. Finally, in the back of the book, there is a detailed description and clarification of the nomenclature of polearms. I was surprised at how many players in my game never bothered with polearms because they didn't know what they were, or because they didn't sound cool. I never went for cool. I was always more interested in the abilities. Check out the halberd, for example. I've done videos on, choose your weapon and like that. At any rate, I always considered the Unearthed Arcana as a sort of companion book to the player's handbook. Since every rule in AD&D is technically optional, a dungeon master can pick and choose what to use and what to ignore out of this book. With that being said, there's literally nothing bad about this book that I can find. It's all good. There is no downside. I'm not trying to bash other people's opinions as far as this goes, but I honestly have no idea why anyone would turn their nose up at this book. It's beyond me. If you don't have it, I suggest you get one immediately, and you're welcome. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. Clarissa Lowe, a historian from the future. Delmore Kane, a Civil War veteran turned outlaw. This oddball pairing faces a conspiracy of epic proportions spanning the centuries. If you like action and adventure westerns with a splash of science fiction and fantasy, check out my book series Drifters and their ongoing adventures.